Hello, welcome to Network. My name is Phumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. This week, our Twitter poll is asking about research that says Facebook algorithm can pick up if you have a drinking problem. We ask what you think of that. Here's what's coming up in the program today. We have details on the tech winter that we are currently experiencing. There's information on how technology can help people with disabilities get opportunities. And in our conversation, we chat about how tech is used in abuse against children and how it can be used as well to fight that similar abuse. Technology is the one thing that creates a massive digital divide, which can leave many people out of development. But technology can also help. We attended a conference that's trying to assist people with disabilities use technology to get opportunities.
This is Sylvia and Fahim, finalists at the Mr. and Miss Deaf South Africa. Holding prospects of being future representatives of the non-hearing community, these two wish that they had enough information to leverage social media platforms in order to grow their brands like people in hearing communities.
I mean, we all, as finalists from MDSA, Mr. Deaf SA and Miss Deaf SA, as we are here, we all have our own Facebook pages and social medias that we post. So even on Instagram and Twitter and so forth. So now, so that we can try and get sponsors to support us and to support Miss Deaf South Africa and Mr. Deaf South Africa. So now, because we, as a brand, we also need to make sure that we get that support from the hearing community so that we can give back again to the deaf community. So the Innovation Hub is also helping us so that we can learn more. Even with WhatsApp, you can set up your own business WhatsApp.
Platforms designed for video content such as TikTok are beneficial to the deaf community as they are visual. However, according to Sylvia, acceptance is key for inclusion to take place.
And just to add, it's not a matter of learning. We don't learn the same way. So now, as I think we need to accept ourselves, and deaf and hearing people need to accept us as deaf people, because if you are using sign and one is using a spoken language can be even much more longer compared to when it's turned into sign. So now I think when it's much more visual, there will be much more access for us as deaf people, and deaf people will have that knowledge, that information which will be shared through the language that they know.
RIA, an anagram for hear, says that theirs is a goal aimed at creating opportunities for non-hearing communities in the digital marketing ecosystem. They are doing this through hosting masterclasses.
If you can check in the market, you find a lot of influencers, hearing people. So now there is an opportunity for deaf people or any sign language user to participate in this economy because it is growing. As you know, some people, they have 1 million followers, and companies are looking for those influencers so that they can launch their products.
We have gotten accustomed to seeing social media influencers, quote-unquote, getting their bag through partnering with big brands. But what we really see here in South Africa is the representation of sign language users. ICT specialist Vuyo Mhlochane says that there is space for all in these platforms and that authenticity is key.
The only thing is it's not competing with mainstream media. It's understanding that they're catering for a particular market, and that market will love them and they'll respond if they are authentic and vulnerable and they're just true to themselves. They'd be more than happy to consume the content because now finally they have people that are voicing out whatever couldn't be voiced.
Youth-led organization Digify Africa is also part of this masterclass initiative.
Today I was just here to give opportunities that are available online for free to the deaf community that they can use to start a business or even find employment. Because we know that with digital, there's a lot less barriers, if I may put it like that. So it allows almost anyone to be able to access information, but the most important thing is we want them to access information on their mobile phone, which is WhatsApp.
According to Ria, this digital marketing masterclass held at the Innovation Hub in Pretoria was the first of many to take place throughout South Africa.
It seems as though a lot of people were not buying new technologies recently. The tech winter has been affecting mobile phones, the gaming industry, and some say even cryptocurrency spaces as well. But what's been causing this tech winter? The COVID-19 pandemic aided all kinds of tech usage. Many were stuck at home video conferencing, consuming online content, and playing video games. Then, suddenly, a tech meltdown has hit in 2022.
So we definitely are seeing a lot of the very well-known tech companies who are looking at potentially cutting production this year. There are rumors saying that Samsung, according to reports out of Korea, are going to be potentially cutting production across all of their very popular Galaxy line.
Some say the last time something like this happened was when the dot-com crash came. That's about 20 years ago. Right now, everything from mobile phones to gaming has been affected.
The chipset shortage that we started experiencing last year, which has impacted things from, very popular consoles to car manufacturing to, laptops, tablets, smartphones, smartwatches, all of these great things. We're definitely seeing that still continue to play a role.
A year ago, Amazon was posting some of its biggest profits. They were making to the home deliveries of all kinds of goods that they sell online. They're seeing a downturn too now. So are Zoom, Tesla, and Meta.
I think Facebook has a Mount Everest-like battle, an uphill climb to get back to growth. Because of what we're seeing on the digital advertising side, the privacy issues, TikTok.
Sony says it's the COVID-19 pandemic that had created supply chain problems for their PS5. They say that's changing as they're about to ramp up production of the game's console.
They have already started with a different setup for the procurement process, which will then allow for an improvement for ramping up on the production and where to procure the parts that are needed.
But the war in Europe and inflation don't seem to be easing up, and it doesn't seem like it will be happening anytime soon either. While tech startups have seen a lot of investment coming in for about a decade and a half, they too are seeing investors moving away at the moment. Producer Hlangani takes a look at how technology can help in the fight against child abuse.
Children and young people like to go on to the internet, connect with existing friends, and make new ones. They want to browse the web to find information, live chat with each other, and play online games. While there are benefits to this kind of connectedness, parents say children can come across material that isn't meant for them.
We lost Ubuntu because of online all the time. When do you go home and have a proper conversation with your child? So I feel that we need to look at that as parents. Perhaps we have maybe strict measures that we put in place that your kids must have a time, a one-on-one with your father, one-on-one with his mom or her mom. That it brings like a family together, and we have like a warm family.
Despite these concerns, Facebook launched the Messenger Kids application aimed at kids under 13.
I think for a long time we've heard from parents and from organizations working with children and in the space that, getting children to think about tech and how they might use tech. We've heard for a long time that it'd be great to have an app that was made bespoke for children and gave parents oversight over how children are interacting online. And I think what we've done with Messenger Kid is design an app specifically for that.
The debate over kids and social media safety is far from settled. One side argues that kids are already on social media and need guidance to learn how to use it safely.
Just looking at the current situation that we are faced with and kids, being at home, it means that they haven't been able to communicate with their friends and distant family.
The other side says tech giants have crossed the line by targeting young children and are charging ahead without understanding the effects.
It's not good because they are being exposed to other things that are not good, like porn. So, akumelanga babe ne-access eningi kuma-social media.
How is that data used for Facebook? Because Facebook, as it stands, uses our data to market to us for ads and those kind of things. So what are they going to do with the data used that they've captured from these kids?
Amid these concerns, MTN joined forces with the Internet Watch Foundation to launch the Help Children Be Children campaign.
With the digital world that has currently increased, obviously, through COVID-19, the virtual world has increased. We then found it prominent for MTN to launch this program, obviously, to enhance the knowledge of younger children that are exploited via cyberbullying or that are exposed to the virtual world on how to handle themselves and safeguard themselves through all these cyber attacks, or we could say invasion in their private space.
When Facebook launched Messenger Kids, the company stressed that it had worked closely with the leading experts in order to safeguard younger users.
We've held roundtables globally and in Africa since probably about 2018. And what that's done is bring these groups together. And you yesterday you saw some of the quotations from my colleague Sylvia, who's our safety expert. And safety is at the heart of all of this, safety and privacy at the heart of all of this as well. And we brought them together. So there's been, obviously we've done some desk-based work with them and spoken to these parents and done group consultations online.
As the pandemic has pushed kids to use the internet more for school and socialization, children's media safety advocates warn that social media giants' business models are a key hurdle in combating cyberbullying.
A victim that's being cyberbullied or harassed can approach the court for an interim protection order if the court is satisfied that that person is being harassed. For children, it's especially a great law because they can even approach the court without a parent or guardian.
The app allows children to send photos, videos, and text messages and make video calls.
It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we look at how technology can be used by perpetrators of child abuse to get to children and what can be done to fight this. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za. Email. Welcome back. Now, we've been observing Child Protection Week, and one of the places that children are often not safe is online. Now, to talk to us about the safety of children online is Ilonka Bradenhorst, who is from WASPA. Hello, and thank you very much for joining us, Ilonka. Maybe we can start by telling us what some of the dangers are for children online.
There are a couple of general categories. For example, content risks. This is exposure to unwanted and potentially harmful or hateful or offensive, illegal or inappropriate content, as well as disinformation. We also have conduct risks. This is where the child actually, their own conduct makes them vulnerable for things like sexting or cyberbullying or sex casting and harassment, etc. We also have contact risks. This is where we're looking at inappropriate and unwanted messages or advances, where we're looking at online predators, sex trafficking, and also cyber grooming. Then we've got more simple type of threats, but this is still important and parents and children should still be aware of it. For example, consumer risks. This is unwanted direct marketing messages, phishing messages, spyware, viruses, online fraud and scams. And then some legal risks. Some of the children and parents sometimes forget, for example, there are copyright laws and the illegal sharing of files or the piracy of music, etc. is illegal. So there are risks with that involved as well. However, when we look at all these risks, for me, there are some of them that are more dangerous and extreme risks, which parents and children should be aware of. The biggest one of that being cyberbullying. Cyberbullying or online bullying and peer-to-peer violence can cause such severe damage to young children and young adults. And this is every single time they go online, whether it be a social media platform or an instant messaging platform. Even when they're just browsing the web, they could be potentially exposed to inappropriate content or hate speech or harmful content, and messaging that could even lead to self-harm and suicide.
Should parents then take away the device, and would that not be an infringement of the children's privacy?
We tend to see that most parents are really concerned about excessive screen time, or alternatively that the online risks outweigh the benefits. What parents then tend to do is that they restrict internet usage or restrict having children on any mobile devices or any tablets or other laptops at all. And this is kind of counter, it doesn't really help. We actually have to equip our children to be able to navigate safely within this environment. So there are numerous tools that parents can use to assist them with this task. For example, setting up parental guidance. There are so many apps and software out there that assist parents with monitoring their online behavior, sending alerts, or just blocking certain content. I say always set up safe searching functionalities on the search engines, or alternatively use child-friendly browsers. Then what we call be share aware. Like, you need to be very careful about the personal information that you share. If you're not willing to share that with a stranger on the street, then you definitely should not be putting that information on a social media platform, because it's public and accessible by most people. And that is also applicable not just to the children, but also to the parents. Especially, we call it sharenting, when parents like to share pictures, etc., of their beautiful kids. They also need to be very careful about what they share, for example, information about the school that the kid is in.
And what can some of the precautions actually be in order to ensure that children are properly safe online?
It's safer for the parents, for example, when your kids are using a mobile handset, to rather download the necessary apps, for example, YouTube Kids, that they are exposed to the content that is age appropriate and not be able to access either intentionally or accidentally content that might be inappropriate or harmful. Then furthermore, there are things like, for example, online gaming is extremely popular, but parents need to also be included in this process and make sure that when apps are downloaded or games are downloaded on, for example, mobile devices, they usually come with parental guidance or age restrictions, and parents should really take heed of this and follow that and make sure that their children are playing online games or interacting with apps that are age appropriate and have the right content for them, and that the rest is blocked. And as we said, that when they need to use devices, there are safety measures. For example, Google has got a very, very nice safe searching functionality, which means that certain sites and certain content would automatically be blocked. And all of these little steps that we can take all lead towards protecting our children from inappropriate content and keeping them safe.
All right, Ilonga, thank you very much for being a part of our network. With that, let's take a short break. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
Wearing a virtual reality headset and black and yellow wired gloves, an Egyptian teenager is hoping to build his own version of the metaverse, allowing people to one day shop, attend classes, or even conduct experiments online.
الفيرتشوال بيرست ده هو اللي بيخليك انك تحس جوه الفيرتشوال رياليتي وولت، ويخليك انك تشعر بكل حركه عن طريق vibration sensors.
The teen's passion for AI and technology started when he was only 5 years old. He built his first robot when he was 9. Wheel won various local and international awards for his project, The Other World, for which he hopes to secure funding to enable him to develop it further. And now in the USA. activists have come together to push for an audit into tech giant Alphabet's human rights record. In collaboration with workers at Google's parent company, the activists are asking for an inquiry into racial equity, both throughout the workforce itself and in the market as a result of the company's products.
Google search is by far the most widely used search engine in the world. It has roughly 90% of the global market for search, more than 5.6 billion searches a day, 2 trillion a year. YouTube, just one product, has more than 2.6 billion active users. And there's strong and consistent evidence that Apple's products have been used as powerful tools to amplify bigotry and racism. And all the shareholder proposal asks is that an independent third-party examiner come in and look at the evidence in an organized manner and try to help the company understand what its products are doing to people. We think this is something the company should welcome, not oppose.
The plaintiff, April Curley, also said that Alphabet Inc. unit subjected black employees to a hostile work environment, including by often requiring they show identification or be questioned by security at its Mountain View, California campus. For Connor, the only way forward is transparency.
Researchers say Facebook algorithm is quite accurate in picking up if someone has a drinking problem. This week, our Twitter poll is asking you what you think about this kind of technology. And that's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at News Network at sabc.co.za on email. From Ms. Phumelele Zondi and the rest of the team, bye-bye. Have a good one.